I'm going to have a little heart-to-heart with y'all. I just want to give some light into some of the process behind the scenes when it comes to this. So this comes from, Season 3, Episode 6 video, and it's from Jekka214 or 214. So I take the comments very seriously because this person has commented on other videos, but very, very nice. They look forward to what's happening in the series. This is just a minor critique, so I'm not being shame on you for this comment. So Jekka says, the Marro be the most savage and gaunt looking figures, but they're just like meow 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 meow. Basically, in a sense, that Jekka is saying here is that, the Marro, and anybody who's seen the Marro and the miniatures, they're almost like an undead, skeletal, psychic, demon-like type of race that is actually pretty much exclusive to Heroscape. They're quite wonderful baddies to have, and even today, with this game being 12 years discontinued, when I went to ScapeCon, there were so many people playing with Marro armies. Everybody loves them, and they have such good abilities, and they're mean. They're supposed to be, very scary individuals. So why do I have them sound the way they sound? And we're going to discuss a little bit about the lore of this too, because when I started doing research into season 1 and seasons 2 and 3, I was just finding out as much as I can about the characters. I didn't want them to be exactly like they were for different reasons, like they were in the original videos produced by Hasbro, or as they're told in the Hasbro Legends within the game and such. I wanted everything be a little bit different and have a little bit of satire in the show. And this is one of the creative liberties I took with these creatures, because technically Marro should not be making any type of sound or language at all. Technically, they all communicate psychically. So, and Kimoshi being one exception, Kimoshi is speaking, but because she has that kind of raspy, nasally sound, almost like she's speaking from her mind, and not exactly from her mouth. It's because this is a telepathic race, so they shouldn't be saying anything at all. If you want to actually be as realistic as possible for this series, I wanted to add a little bit for them for satire, just to create something that was going to be fun for the audience, because you just don't want Marro walking around saying nothing. You got to have them react to the scene and what the scene's about. And we even show, in episode 6, Niguk-Sa, when Gimp throws a grenade at Niguk-Sa, and Niguk-Sa holds it, it explodes, and doesn't do anything to him.
Wasn't that supposed to do something?
Kind of displaying Niguk-Sa's threatening power over the airborne elite, and how he can just take them out easy if Niguk-Sa wanted to. But with the Marro common squads, I pretty much voice all of them, actually. The Drudge, the Grok Riders, the Hounds, Nagrubs, Stingers, Marro Warriors. All the squads I voice. So for episode 6 was the Stingers, and I will have to say one thing when it comes to this comment from Jekka, is that they're actually not going mew 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 mew. One thing I wanted to do to show a little bit of variation between these squads, between the Stingers, the Warriors, and Drudge and such, is to have them sound differently according to what different ones you were listening to. And it was something very simple. For the Warriors, the Warriors just sound like just whatever. But for the rest, the Drudge, they're basically just saying the name Drudge over and over. And I'm trying to have them sound as sluggish as I possibly can. you know, and if there's some type of and whatever they're responding to, if they're responding to getting shot or responding to firing their weapon, it's going to sound a little bit different. So I did different variations of just the sound drudge in the Marro type way that I'm speaking. Now, when it comes to the Marro stingers, yeah, the Marro stingers sound like the flightiest bit, because all I'm doing is saying the word stinger over and over again for their language. So so sting, stinger, stingers. So I tend to do ning ning ning. So it's not mew 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 mew. Well, I do some of that, but it's actually ing. It's the ing sound that I use for the stingers and what they are. So they do sound a little bit high strung, a little bit flighty, but again, that's the satire element that I chose to add in with it. You don't have to like it. That's fine. People don't have to like everything that needs to be done. I mean, as long as you enjoy the rest of the content. But that's just the creative liberty I took when it came to the Marro. And here, let me show you what I mean. Okay, here is the drudge. See, I'm just saying drudge in some shape or another. That's the Marro drudge, and that's how they sound. Let's go to like the nagrubs. Basically, the nagrubs are just saying the word nagrub over and over again. So many variations of the word nagrub and that. And then, of course, we come to the stingers, and it's more of a high-strung ning, ning, ning. And I tend just to go ning, ning, ning a lot. Instead of just stinger, saying stinger, it's ning, ning, ning. So, yes. That's how the stingers sound. I mean, that's the kind of language that I chose for them. It's, again, more for the satire. Yes, it makes them less threatening, but sometimes you got to trade off between that and the comedic element of the show as well, and the storytelling. And so that's the creative liberty I took. Again, I mean, like Kiyomoshi, New York Saw, the rest of these Hive Lords, these Marro leaders, they're still as threatening. I try to make them as threatening as they ever were in the game. I haven't changed that. I mean, I probably do a little bit of comedy for them, especially you'll see a little bit of that towards the end of Season 3, but I still try to show as much respect as possible for the original ideas for these creatures when it comes to, you know, those guys. But yes, definitely Marro Common Squads, I let them have it. I add that comedic element to it. So I guess that's how I would explain it. And yeah, and Jekka, again, if you see this video, because I'll cut this, this will be its own separate video where because I've just addressed some comments before, and this won't be the last time that I do it, probably. And it'll be its own little playlist. But yeah, just keep on commenting. I enjoy all the critiquing because it's the only way that I learn. So I responded by saying, you know, that's a nice critique, and I'll probably address it, which I'm doing right now. It says, Tales of Valhalla, I know why they sound like that. It's just odd how they have to. Hasbro and Withers could have made them like Thel Van Dam, but nope. And I have no idea who Thel Van Dam is. But no, the thing is, like I explained earlier, Jekka, I know why they sound like it. Actually, they shouldn't be sounding like anything at all. Like I said, they're a telepathic race. So they shouldn't be making any sounds or any communication whatsoever. They should be just silent and deadly, basically. But it's just odd how they have to. Yeah, and again, they do it. It's because that's what I decided to do for that. So I hope that gives you a little bit of clarity. If Jekka, if it has you think of another question or something else to say about the subject, I'm willing to continue to have that conversation always willing to talk more about it, because brainstorming through it might give me different ideas for characters in the future. So don't mind that. So that has been my addressing the comments of the audience from YouTube and social media. Well, thank you very much, and see you all next time.